We are back now with Emmy and Grammy nominated comedian, actor, producer, podcaster Bill Burr. He's got a new comedy special. It's called Drop Dead Years. It premieres tomorrow. Thank you for coming on.
All right. Thanks for having me.
Tell us about Drop Dead Years.
Tell you about it? Well, yeah, I did a stand-up special, Drop Dead Years. It's on Hulu, starting tomorrow. And yeah, I did it in Seattle, specifically in Seattle, because I knew that they're like super liberal, and I have like kind of go back and forth. So I figured I'd get a nice mix of people, where the liberal people from in the city, and then more the lumberjack crowd coming in from the outskirts. So I like to have the whole thing there. I don't want to be in like an echo chamber. Mm-hmm. So.
But you've been doing comedy for over 30 years. Mm-hmm. But you say you like a hostile crowd.
Yeah, I do. I don't want to have just everybody agreeing with me, you know, what they call it, clapter. Like you just say something and people are like, woo, and they do that. Yeah, so I like to try to annoy people a little bit, right to the point where they want to leave, but then you say something that makes them kind of stay. Because there was this thing when I started in comedy, like there was this big thing of guys walking the room, and there was like this big, I don't know, badge of like courage thing, where it was like, there was like, 200 people there. By the time he was done, there was only 30. And but I was just like, well, once they leave, you can't have fun with them anymore. So it was more like you just wanted to irritate them to the point where they were like this, but then you would say, all right, I kind of agree with that. My favorite thing was the people who just sit there in the front row and they would just have like expression. And that used to bug me, but what I would do then was I would just commit even harder, and I would just start sending my act like right out over their head. Like I would make these grand things like that, and then just the whole game would just be to annoy that person, and I would just be like right over their head, being like, "You guys are such a great audience. Seriously, the best thing is the person," because that's all they want. Like they're sitting there, they just want to, It's not my fault you had a bad childhood. It's like so did I. Why don't you lighten it up for the rest of us instead of dragging us down to your lagoon? Yeah. So.
And can we say congratulations? Going to make your Broadway debut, baby.
Yeah.
Nathan Lane recommended you.
Yes, he did. He did. He was initially going to do the play, and he said, I would love to do it with Bill Burr, and I've never even met him, so he's a total solid guy for hooking me up, and then he ended up booking another series, so he couldn't do it. But yeah, it's Bob Odenkirk, Kieran Culkin, Michael McKean, who murdered it last night, Donald Weber, Howard Overshow, I'm going to say them all, John Piccicello, if I say it right, and it's a great team vibe. It's definitely a team vibe. Everybody's really, really cool, and everybody's been killing it, and we've been having a great time.
Glengarry Glen Ross, great movie. What makes it a relevant story today for Broadway?
Because all of these greedy billionaires, I would say that. I mean, like their new word for monopoly is consolidation. This is being consolidated. It's like, no, you're kind of keeping all the money, and then you're blaming people with no money. It's kind of a weird time. But I also think it's an opportunity, just because if it's an intolerant time, doesn't mean you can't be like a nice person and try to help out other people. So, but I feel like when Glengarry came out, I remember my brother was in sales, and I saw it, and I loved it. Mm-hmm. And my brother, I go, did you like it? He said, no. He goes, it was depressing, because that's exactly how it was. But I was not in sales, so I could just sort of, watch it and enjoy it. But now I feel like they're doing that a lot now. Like pitting people against each other seems to be this big thing. Like I don't know. I can't understand having $1 billion and then just being mean to people or being upset with the country. It's like, I kind of think it's working for you. You got $1 billion. Like what is the problem? Like, how much better does it have to get for you? Yeah, so, but it's also a weird time doing stand-up. Everything gets politicized no matter how much you try to, it's weird. Like I play a blue state, they think I'm a Trumper. I play a red state, they think I'm a liberal. So I don't know. So
do you pivot depending on the audience or not?
I definitely do. So I make fun of, like if I'm in a red state, I make fun of people with guns. And then if I'm in a blue state, I make fun of Hillary and Biden and all of that, because like what's the point then? If I'm just going to go up there and say what you want to hear, it's going to be boring. So I like to kind of go up there, not be too much of a jerk, but just enough of a jerk that I'm still having a good time.
hear you also have a good time, flying helicopters?
Yep, I started flying helicopters like 10. I got a conspiracy theory, and I was reading about the dollar and how there was nothing behind it. And I was just living in LA, and I'm like, it takes forever to get out of this city when everybody's believing in the lie. What happens if everybody figures it out? How do I get out of here? So it was just up and out. Made sense. But then I became the conspiracy theory guy, which was an exhausting person to listen to. So I let go of that and kept flying helicopters.
You are anything but exhausting.
Exactly.
You are exhilarating. Thank you, Bill.
Oh, well, thank you. That's very
Bill.
nice of
Yeah,
you.
but Bill, drop dead. Oh, no, I don't mean you.
Drop dead years.
Drop dead years. It did seem like I was telling you.
No, it's all right. I like that.
It streams on Hulu starting tomorrow. Thank you so much. Yeah.